Hi guys, I've been busy doing a few little fix-up along the way, and it's been kind of helpful for me to make sure I get those little things done. Just
Hi
about to go.
guys, I've been busy doing a few little fix-up along the way, and it's been kind of helpful for me to make sure I get those little things done.
Just
Hi
about to
guys,
go.
I've been busy doing a few little fix-up along the
Why
way.
have I got an echo?
Just about to go. Why have
There
I got
we
an
go.
echo?
Alright, that's a bit better. I actually had the other window open in the background. Hey, Still City? Yes, that's right, because it's coming off the background, keeps coming over, so forgot I had that up in the background as well. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of warning about my stream. That's alright. Doesn't look too serious at the moment. Hi guys, everyone, welcome. As you can see, I've been doing all kinds of silly things. I have in fact given myself a little present. I can't tip it over, of course. I'm going to cover myself in coffee, but it's my morning Coke cup. Any case, just going to talk about a few little things, electronics project I've been working on. Please pardon this corner. That looks a little bit better, but as you can see, it's a little bit of a tight corner I'm in, so I kind of get these edges in. And I've just realised why they're still in there. The last time I broadcast with the whole thing full size, so it actually didn't have those edges in. I was broadcasting from a different location. Welcome, Still City. Welcome. I think you're it at the moment by the look of things. Let me just see who's here. Participants. Yeah, it's just you and me, huh? Oh, not to worry. This is all good fun and games. So let's start with just a quick intro. I'm just going to go through a few things today, and I'll be right back.
Take a deep breath of that go beyond. The earth is flat and it spins like a cookie. The moon landing was a conspiracy. Go beyond and go beyond. Deep breath of that go beyond. Hidos go beyond. The CIA created the birds, Tupac and Biggie are in Cuba. Take a deep breath of that cold beyond. Hidos go beyond.
Well, it wasn't supposed to come up. Very good. I've just spoiled everything. All right. So, welcome to my show. It's just a sultry Saturday morning here in Australia. It's about 10 a.m. for me. Well, it's a bit later than that now. Got a few things I want to talk to you about, and I'll just work my way through the different things. The electronics project has been ongoing for a while. I've sort of been on it and off it again. I saw nothing. Yes, very good. Very good, Still City. So electronics, I got into in the age of 7, so I'm not that old anymore. But that started with Apollo 11. It got me interested, and I started into electronics. I started working as a hobbyist on it while I was at school. Then I joined the Air Force here in Australia and became an electronics technician and worked on equipment which had valves in it, transistors in it, aviation style navigation equipment. So there's a pretty broad range of things I had to work on. Spending that much time with the Air Force, nearly 15 years, I got to see a lot of stuff. Why did I choose the Air Force? It was a good place to learn. The equipment was sometimes bleeding edge, sometimes wasn't. And that's where I developed a very strong electronics background, but also learnt programming at that point as well. Now, you may notice something's going on here, and I just want to talk very briefly about a couple of things. So let's just start with this first one. I did notice that I've received a few new subscribers. I should have waited the 4 seconds, but that mainly happened during the Critical Streamathon. I picked up nearly 20 new subs. So thank you for you guys for actually connecting that way. It's really appreciated. While I'll probably never become a monetized channel, it's always appreciated to know that you've got people that want to know what you've been doing and are interested enough to actually continue talking to you via this medium. Now, the electronics project, which I mentioned, yeah, I haven't done it for a long time, so I've made mistakes to come up with designs which look like they should work and they didn't work straight away, and it's been sort of on and off. It will get to the point. Yeah, it does. I've actually flipped this around the correct way, so that's my right hand, that's my left hand. What I found was that anything that's written, it comes out mirrored, completely mirrored out for you guys as well, but that's always back the front on there. So this thing is in my left hand, and I think my left hand's coming up to the wrong side of the screen for you, but that's not going to hurt us because you can see this writing's around the right way, and the Emporium's around the right way as well. In any case, that was one of my first attempts. The top of this is an infrared receiver, and the transistors on here were all set up because I found it just didn't quite work out as expected. Left for you as well, so hey. Alright, yeah, so yeah, mirrored writing's not good. I did the entire Zoo Crew unboxing with everything backwards, so when you looked at every logo, every word that was written was back to front. So it's been swapped left to right. So I fixed that up and now it's working the way it should. The other half of the project looks something like this. This is now a working version of the board. And I'll just bring it up close. You can even this little bit out, folks, you can see just there that tiny little thing. Those, you saw my finger against those components, so you know that they're pretty tiny. The size of the components for the capacitors and resistors is what they call them. It was 1608, so it's 1.6 by 0.8 millimeters. My eyes are so bad I can't see them. I need a microscope. So, and it's all, everything there has been placed by hand, not by machine. That's now fully functional. It does what it needs to do. There's some other components that will mount down there, some electronics, and then the whole lot will be brought together, and they all go to a board which then does something with this. I won't go too much detail about what it actually does, but there are multiples of these boards I've just shown you. Those are the things I've been working on for quite some time, and I'm doing a collab with somebody, and as soon as I get a chance to have a chat to him, we'll start setting up something so we can get this finalized and in his hands. That's always helpful to have that. Now the next thing is, what am I planning to do? What's my next direction? So basically I did start out as a casual engineer, then TFE came along, and there's a lot of talk about COPE, and they kind of struck a bit of a nerve with me. I thought, yeah, it's not a bad idea. So I fiddled around with all of these things and sort of come up with this idea for what I'm calling the COPE Emporium, and this all kind of started with the original logo, which is plastered all over my t-shirt. It's way too big. I've got to shrink this down. But conceptually, this isn't what you think it is. It's actually an electronic symbol which has been modified, pressed into service to produce the letters TCE. If you look at it, this is the gate of an FET. This is supposed to be the circle that we draw in electronics, but you can see I've cut a bit out, and this letter E is actually the source and drain. So this is a MOSFET. Emma! Welcome, Emma. Just explaining to people how I got this. So originally it used to say the casual engineer, and it was a MOSFET modified to actually produce the letters TCE. So I fed it into AI, said I wanted to make this thing look neon, and then put this around the outside of the COPE Emporium, and I did know something funny. Because as you work your way around, yeah, it's right side up till you get round to here. That's actually a W. Damn AI. Damn the AI. Ugh, curse the AI. Alright, AI can be a lot of fun. You can produce some very interesting images with it. Most of my thumbnails recently have been AI generated. And since I found someone with a tuxedo on for that Zoo Crew thing, I had to get the tuxedo shirt, so I got that. So this is good. In case you're wondering, this is also on the back. I got a little carried away though, because there's that much material printed on here, it's not funny. So I think I'll be simplifying this and making these a bit smaller. So, and for Emma's benefit, yeah, I did start off with, I do have my morning cup of coke now. I really do have a morning copium cup. And of course, I've got the backup supply, so I'm not going to run out too quickly throughout all of this. Makes a lot of fun though, it does make a lot of fun. Now, just moving on to the next thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to try to have a little bit of fun. It's now if you switch right letters for the end, yeah, true. Yeah, but in terms of following this around, it actually looks like a W. That's what makes it so funny. I went, I should have looked that closer. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. So my little PFP has been getting modified. It just went from that original TCE to this, and then it got this put around the outside. And I kind of decided that doesn't look too bad, and as it stands on the cup, it actually stands out pretty well. And again, you can't see the C because it's green, and it's disappearing into the green behind me. Still, it's always enjoyable when this kind of thing happens. Kind of fun. So I want to go into something which has got a little bit more than some people might be wondering why I'm going to talk about it, but it's something that does rest on my mind. I do watch a lot of material around this. And when I show you the next thing, you'll all know. While that's a reference to faulty towers, this is something that I have thought about a lot. Any armed conflict in Europe, Middle East, always a terrible thing. I'm specifically honing in on the European conflict at the moment. The fact is that each side will say something, and something that a lot of people may not consider. Neither side will be completely transparent when they are telling you things. Neither side, for example, will say exactly what their losses look like. The only thing that is fairly easy to identify is the front line. No matter what each side says, the front line's telling all of us exactly what we need to know. Now, the sources I use for this, and I'm just going to change to this. Elvira Barry has been one of my resources. Elvira is a lady who writes, and she's moved to the States. She does talk about gives us very good insights into the Russian psychology, why they're culturally the way they are. I do know people who are from Russia, and Elvira's videos have actually been quite beneficial in understanding them a lot better. I have learned to read a little bit of Russian. Can't read a lot. I speak a few very simple words, but beyond that, I don't really do a lot of Russian. The other person I look at is someone called Paul Warburg. He is a pastor, and he does in-depth work around this. Yes, I have heard of ground news. I guess I'm doing my own ground news because I think very carefully about who do I listen to and what tells me which is closer to the truth. The front line is the thing that's been telling me. When there's been a victory's eminent call coming from one side, and you look at the front line and go, where? How? Where's the massive salient that's just suddenly pushing its way across the country? It works out they're going to take about 100 years to take the entire country, so it's not a sustainable war anymore. But back to what I was talking about, Paul also lost a cousin to this particular conflict we're discussing. His cousin went there to help and was on the front line, had a gas bomb dropped on him, and then he got out and then got shot trying to get away from the gas. So it's pretty bad. But this guy, Paul, does long-term strategic thinking while he's analysing what's in front of him. And yeah, ground news could have been used, but yeah. First time I've seen that war thing. Really? It's a reference to Monty Python, not Monty Python, Faulty Towers. Faulty Towers has an episode, can't remember what it's called, but they had a bunch of Germans coming to the Faulty Towers Hotel, and one of the things he said to the old colonel there was, "Whatever you do, don't mention the war." So that's where that comes from. Now the other one I do watch, Jake Bro, he spends a lot of time looking at mainly where the strikes are occurring. He's an ex-US officer, worked with nukes. His insights are fairly good as well. And that's why I'm talking about this, just so you know where this kind of stuff's come from. Lucky last one's Jason J. Smart. Jason was a Russian. He was from Russia, was from Moscow. He used to help the political opposition in their task. When he talks, it will feel pretty biased, but he is actually covering often some information that you might not get from the news on a daily basis. He got booted out of Russia. He was one of the people who helped Navalny, so he got booted out, and now he works in Ukraine. And he's also a correspondent. So you want to watch his stuff and have a listen. He does talk. He smiles a little bit because the things he talks about are showing that there's something going on that one side is not talking about, but it's becoming clear that there are things going wrong. But when's it going to end? None of these people know. Nobody's going to know when this is going to end. I'd like to see it end sooner. The fact is that if a country becomes emboldened in its actions and gets away with things, they become emboldened to do something else, then something else, and something else. And there are some timings which have been noted by Jason, essentially speaking, when there was an announcement to reduce the number of military in one of the countries. This other country did something and got away with it, and did something else and got away with it. So it's pretty important now that this conflict is brought to an end, and a good end. An end that would at least stop the killing and get things back to normal. It will take years though, unfortunately. I'm expecting at least another year of conflict. Okay, now I've talked about that kind of stuff. It's time for a little bit of fun. Just pardon me while I go and find everything. Okay, I have got... Here we go. It's going to open something up. It will probably start blaring away madly.
Yo.
I wasn't quite ready to start that one up. So I've got to change out my windows, and here we go. Yeah, as you can see, I'm very well organised. Just going to change the window at this point too, and then we should be good. There we go. So now we have something completely new to look at. I'm still in here somewhere. This is actually part of a little bit of a game I just sort of thought about last night. I've been fiddling with this idea for quite a while. Yeah, dark mode in the browser does make it a bit easier. My entire background is dark, so keeping things dark instead of just blaring, blinding, giving you blinding things to look at. Now, sorry, this is the full background here. Just move myself in front of it. That's better. The intention with this one is you can make up words by using this periodic table of delusion. Also given this the notes like it's meant to be the elements of cope. Now if you can find a word in here like C-O-P-E like this, it spells cope. So you've got copium perspectate. That's what this game's about. And I'm about to start a piece of music, and it also means I have to kill off my background music, so this makes a bit more sense. Now, let's see. Can I minimize that? No, I can't. Damn it. There I am thinking, oh yeah, I'll get that to work. Not a chance. Alright, where's my media player? Here we go. So, in the duration of this music, the most creative words going in here gets a prize. Because as you know, I do have a shop, so I can get a prize to you, so you can have some fun with that. Okay guys, here comes the music.
Welcome to the table of D. One or two letters come play with me. Cold, be alright. Leave, leave it tonight. See, oh, spell it, oh, nah. Cloud, salty cloud. I say Cootay, you shout Cootay. I say BS, you spell BS. I say KO, you spell KO. Go ahead, show us what you know. One or two letters, mix and play. Build your flair the delusional way. From Co and P to Nine Clay. We're lost in the table of delusion, y'all.
There you go, that was the game. So use those letters, make up a word. That's kind of where the fun comes from. All right, now I've shown you that one, time for something else. Yeah, I'm back to full screen almost. The other little game I had was one that was set up to be Guess the Flurf. So I don't know if these will take off as a game. What I might actually end up doing is simply modifying these till they become... Cult was one too, yeah. Not just Flurfs, not just Flat Earthers, but also conspirators. So Cults is another good one there as well. I've lost one of my windows. I've got a nice big screen, I still lose my windows. So now let's play a little game of Guess the Flurf. Sorry, it's very loud for me, I know why. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually interesting. I built this one last night. I just said, give me some words that sound like this, and then said put it to a 6/8, which gives it that unusual feel. And this is good catchy beat. Yeah, so it does make it worth listening to. Now, guessing the Flurfs, right? Going to ask you guys a couple of quick questions. Yeah, this guy has turned himself into a microphone salesman. I refer to him as the potty mouth microphone salesman. Give me a name. Put it in the chat. See what we get. You know your Flurfs, don't you? Now, there's a guy whose name sounds very technical. However, he's far from it. Guess that guy's name. Yeah, and you've probably heard me say microphone salesman a few times in the past in different chats. So yeah, that comes out. This is catchy. I kind of like this one. Okay. We didn't get it. No one got it. Gene Techman. Good old Gene. Yeah. So what's another one out there? Oh yeah, this guy has got. This guy's well known for having an app. A rather leaky one at that. Put the name in the chat. Yeah, Gene Techman. Yep. Yep. Yep, the leaky app, that belongs to Dearth. Right, that's what this is. It's just trying to have a bit of fun and interacting with people. Now, end of the song, end of the game. Okay, I think I saw Emma in there before, but still, City, you're about the only one that's been around most of the time, I think. Yeah. Emma, unfortunately for Emma, this is like 2 o'clock in the morning for her. So she really doesn't get the chance to stick around. But it's always good fun having a bit of a chat with people to say you know what we're doing. Actually, I believe that the leak is actually a feature, not a problem. And my little furball is yet again. If anyone looked at the last video, you would have seen a little dog with me. Very carefully patting him. He's a tiny little Jack Russell. He's a cute little dog. Sometimes he just likes to bark, and you go, what's he barking at? It's like, I've got that on the wrong side. Here a balk. I know what I need to do. Okay. So they're the games. I'm thinking about turning those into a website that we can actually interact through. And people can go on, when you're clicking the letters on your side to make a word up, then you hit send, it'll actually pop it, either pop it in the chat or put it into something on the window with me. I think that's probably a good way to do it. Real time's a bit of a pain though, because you have to make sure your timestamps so it's sequenced properly and you don't get things out of sequence. But that's kind of something I'm planning to develop. Guess the Floof will have more questions around that one as well. In spite of what TFE did, there's still ones out there that are just refusing to let go. I've looked at something from Mike over AP, also known as the Drunk Debunk Show. He's noticed just how badly the people are coping. See? Cope. That's it. Things that make you cope. Yeah, so certainly what's left of the Flowless communities are only surrounding themselves with their usual echo chambers. They're going to be very hard to get out of their positions because they just don't want to change. And some of it is linked to money. That's the intent, yes. That's the intent. Yeah, that would actually enhance the interactions for these, because then you get, I'll just give it to you, or you go to that website and you can start doing, when the game says start, you can basically start. So I'll probably make those letters change from time to time. So it's not always exactly the same. You've got to go looking, but you've only got the length of that song, and that's it. If you haven't completed it by the end of the song, it stops. That's the whole idea. Set it up so it works that way. Yeah, so I think it would make a good interaction, and the same with the Guess the Floof. The Guess the Floof would give you clues about each floof, so it's like a sort of a floof trivia. I think if it's done as an interactive online game, where the results are coming up on my side over here, that would be quite helpful. Okay, I didn't spend as much time on here today as I thought I was going to be. I thought I'd talk a lot more. You're now somewhat aware that, yeah, I've got certain thoughts about how the war is going. I think it's still going to go for about another year. I've been over to electronics. I thank people for joining me to join my channel, and basically I'm not monetized, but I don't really care. I'm not that worried about making money out of this. And still, City, since you're the only one here, you get a prize, man. You got culled. Okay, guys, it is time for me to go. It's time for the outro. I guess the Floof should also put a silhouette of them. True, yeah. Right, I won. Yeah, this is what chat driven does to you. I have to spend a lot of time focusing on that, so I've actually rearranged my screen so the chat and the camera are very close to each other. So when I'm looking at the camera, I can just make out the chat. Yeah, because without that, I miss everything all the time. I go, what did someone say? Then you got people like Toon. Then Toon's looking at his camera, and the screen is on the side. So that kind of makes it fun as well. Yeah, and the reason I got that droid cam written there, the reason it's up there is it's just that droid cam isn't paid for, so they stick that all over the top of it. And it's happening because I'm using my mobile phone as the sound source, and I found that this external microphone, which is also wireless, goes to the computer, and I don't rely on the phone's microphone, because combined the video and audio combined on that clip the sound. So this has fixed it all up. Everyone says that my sound is a lot clearer. The people like people I mentioned before, Jake, Jason, Paul Werberg and Elvira Barry, thank you very much for the quality of products that you produce. The videos are good, they're informative, and even without ground news, I kind of spent some time figuring out what was more likely. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, you sound clear as, yeah, I should. The microphone's basically right here. That's that little fuzzy thing there. And I've got the volume cranked up a bit, so it does make it a lot clearer so people can hear what I'm talking about. The background music, which one of the things I did was, this is what it actually is. It's a piece of music that I had AI write. I just said, think of Waltz of the Flowers, and then see what you can do. And it came up with this. It's actually quite beautiful. Yeah, it's got a tiny windsock on it. Oh. Windsock? I need to remember that there's a delay between when I'm talking and what comes up in the chat. It's about 8 seconds. Yeah. So back to this piece here, just because it's the background music is very light. Anyone's allowed to actually copy off this. This is it's written by AI. I'm not paying for the AI, so the license for it belongs to the AI owners, which is Suno. Suno have said in basically under their license agreement that I can use this as long as I don't monetize it. That's it. So I'll use all the free stuff while I can. They actually have produced a couple of ones. That one's a good one. I've got a couple of ones which aren't too bad, but I think I'm going to get them changed. Yeah. Something else I didn't tell people about myself. I learnt piano when I was about 6, 7. Classically trained, got through to 3rd grade piano. Then I basically gave my grand piano away, and now I can barely play. Amazing. It's not something you expect to lose, because I went from playing constantly to not playing for a number of years, and I went back to it and I was able to pick up where I left off. Now it's not the same. The mind and the hands don't work the way they used to. Yeah. With Suno, they've just introduced a new version 4.5 org, so that's a free one. It's actually quite good. The Geisterflurf is actually done with that one. This is done with 3 or 3.5. So the Geisterflurf and the laid back one about the cope, elements of cope one, that one's also done with 4.5, and they're actually fairly good. I have noticed that you have to do this multiple times sometimes to get it right, and I try to give it a lot more instructions. So I tell it, is it 4/4, is it 6/8, is it something unusual, or 3/4? This one I wanted 3/4. Yeah, the elements wrap, that's the way to put it. And that one, yeah, I asked for 6/8, 108 beats per minute, laid back rap, female vocals. It's quite explicit about what I wanted, and it gave me quite a good one out of that. So one of the keys is you need to do that. Emma actually did a song which is because just purely because I won that competition. I have an idea. Why don't I just play that one from the desktop? It's not that far away. I should be able to find in a few seconds. Where'd you go? Let me see if I can spot the piece of music. Then forward. It's funny how you can see it perfectly when you're not busy, but when you're busy, you suddenly go, now where did that go? Yeah, that's right, I had to record it, so it has to be one of these ones here, I think. Hmm, 20 seconds long. Okay, with this one. Yeah, this is the one she wrote for the winner of the Zoo Crew comp a little while back. I'll know in a few seconds. There it is. This is done with Suno.
no joke. He tried to make a pizza, a simple saucy pie. The kitchen looked like that.
Yeah, okay, so just, yeah, that piece of music is done by Suno, and she wrote these lyrics based around some things that happen if you're, it's still, see, are you in Unfornicated's Discord? I know it's going to take a few seconds to come through, so I'll just, while I'm waiting for you to answer, the crew in there that were going a bit nuts, and they had this thing they called Perv Crew. One of the ladies in there had posted something which was basically a cucumber and a sponge, and I commented back with, "You are the sponge," and that's what all of this stuff's about. It's about my filthy joke, which kind of makes it funny. Oh, 2 concurrent users. Okay, who else is in here? Or does it include me as well? No, it just says I got 2 concurrent people watching, and yet I'm not actually watching at the moment. But not to worry. Yeah, so that was it. So that was the first thing that happened. I became a member of the Perv Crew as well, and then the comp came out, and both the ladies were in there. I was in there. Then one decided to withdraw. She said, "No, I'm out. I don't want to stay on this competition." And everyone moved their votes around. I ended up getting 27% of the votes across the 10 that were presented. So, yeah, I won through that. Pretty fair. So that's where we had the unboxing last week on that one. And that song she wrote, and I use that for my outro instead of my usual outro here. So I'm about to start up my outro, and I'm going to bid everyone a good day. Thanks very much, Still City. It was nice to see you in the chat, even if it is a bit of a, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, but Emma did actually say she did say hello before, but she's not actually in the participants. So I think she might have left. Yeah, like I said, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning for us. It's pretty brutal. Someone to get out of bed at that hour of the day. But I'll just say it again. I appreciate Emma for writing that. We have been friends, and we chat a bit. So it's now time for me to go. Which one's this going to play when I hit the outro?
He rolls in the chat like he's running the game. Ask a fake question, then deflect the blame. Truth hits hard, but he don't wanna learn. Rather gaslight and watch the logic burn. Dick Wayne is a disingenuous, dishonest, chicken shit douchebag loser with no balls. Back paddles fast when the knowledge brawls. Dick Wayne dodging facts like dodgeballs. You drop a source, he calls it fake news. Can't tell science from his own damn shoes. You bring receipts, he goes to thread. Leaves more trails than a flat earther sled. Dick Wayne is a disingenuous, dishonest, chicken shit douchebag loser with no balls. Swears he's woke but he always falls. Dick Wayne, king of self-made pitfalls. He's allergic to facts, breaks out in a rash. Truth hits his ego like a YouTube crash. Talks big against NASA, gravity spin, but melts like wax when the facts sink in. Every tantrum fuels his premium plan. Top tier member of the Copium Emporium clan. Dick Wayne is a disingenuous, dishonest, chicken shit douchebag loser with no balls. Ain't got proof, just denial stalls. Welcome to the chat.